So I've spent over thousands trying to fix my hyperpigmentation in the past. And when I tell you, so many of those products did absolutely nothing for my skin. In today's video, I'm going to show you why just throwing money at expensive products alone will not fix your skin. I'll show you what actually works to get clear, glowing skin in about 4 to 6 weeks.
So why do expensive products usually suck? And why do most women waste money on skincare?
The beauty industry, let's be honest, can be a master at manipulation. The beauty industry can use key psychological triggers to convince you that having a higher price tag automatically means higher quality of product. We all have that luxury effect, right? So you have the beauty brand invest a lot in the overall experience, the packaging, the celebrity endorsements, that feeling of exclusivity that we all want. And this makes you feel like you're buying something special, even if the ingredients are basic. So think about it, that heavy glass jar, that beautiful packaging, they're all the experience that we share when we get a product for the first time or when we're repeating a product, when we're unboxing a product. It's all part of the experience. But it doesn't always mean that the product itself is automatically of higher quality or that it's more effective. You'll hear a lot of rare or exclusive ingredients. And while I agree there are definitely a lot of innovative ingredients on the market, you want to make sure you do your research so you're not just getting caught up in marketing fluff. A product that feels and smells amazing can be really persuasive, but that beautiful scent can be just added fragrance. And that doesn't necessarily help your skin. And for some people, it can actually cause irritation. But you're not alone. I've been there before. I've definitely fallen for it. I remember years ago, before I even started my path to become a dermatologist, I was trying to fix my acne and I was trying to improve my hyperpigmentation. I spent hundreds of dollars on single serums, and I used them consistently. When I tell you, day in and day out. And after 3 months of consistent use, my hyperpigmentation did not budge. It's exactly the same. And I later found out, as I kind of learned and went through my journey, that the active ingredient was actually a very watered down form of vitamin C. It wasn't even the effective form of vitamin C, and I didn't get the results that I wanted even after pretty consistent use. I also tried a very popular luxury brand's brightening serum, and my hyperpigmentation did not improve. And it turns out active ingredient in that product was at such a low concentration that it wasn't going to be enough to actually be effective for what I was trying to solve. I see it day in and day out as a dermatologist. I think the biggest mistake that 99% of people make is buying products without actually understanding your skin and what you're trying to treat. We can take hyperpigmentation as an example, right? I'll have a patient come in with hyperpigmentation, but it's actually sunspots, or they could have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation that came after acne breakout, or they could have melasma. They're all so different. So you actually have to understand what your specific skin issue is or what you're trying to improve, because that'll help you select better ingredients and better products that are more personalized to your experience. So here are some of the things that actually work that you can start doing today. We're gonna start with understanding your skin first. Let's start with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or PIH. What exactly is it? Post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation comes after there was some type of trauma or inflammation to your skin. So it could come after acne, it could come after a cut, it could come after a rash like eczema, and usually it will present as a brown patch. Now we do have kind of a spectrum of post-inflammatory discoloration. For some people, it can take weeks to a few months to improve, but for others, it can take up to a few years to improve. We also have sunspots, or what we call solar lentigines. These are going to be more flat, darkened spots or patches that are caused by sun exposure. These usually appear in sun-exposed areas like the face, the hands, or the shoulders. And for many people with treatment, this can take several weeks to improve. Now, melasma is a more complex type of hyperpigmentation, and it is influenced by hormonal changes and also sun exposure. They present as larger patches on the face or other sun-exposed areas on the body at times. And this requires a long-term, comprehensive approach to really see significant improvement. So let's go through some proven ingredients that actually work for hyperpigmentation. Let's start with azelaic acid. Now, this can be a very useful ingredient for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or hyperpigmentation in general. Clinical studies show that 20% azelaic acid can be quite effective, but some of the over-the-counter products are actually capped at a lower percentage. So if you're looking to treat your hyperpigmentation, starting with over-the-counter products, azelaic acid is an ingredient that you can seek out. Tranexamic acid is another star that we can have in our toolkit when it comes to treating hyperpigmentation or melasma. You can find it in serums and toners, and oftentimes it can be combined with other brightening ingredients. Kojic acid is another great supporting ingredient when it comes to treating hyperpigmentation. You can also look for this ingredient in serums. And vitamin C is a classic for a reason. It can be a powerful antioxidant that helps brighten the skin and protect against UV damage. You want to look for ingredients such as L-ascorbic acid, which can be a very effective form of vitamin C. You can expect to see improvement in your overall skin quality with consistent use over a few weeks. Now, retinol is a powerhouse when it comes to cell turnover, and for this reason, it can also be helpful for hyperpigmentation. Start with a low concentration a few times per week, working your way up to every night if tolerated, and with consistent use, you'll start to see improvement within a few weeks. Niacinamide is another versatile ingredient that helps with things like acne and evening out your overall skin tone. You can also look for this ingredient in different serums. As for me, I finally saw real results in my skin when I stopped just splurging on random expensive products, and I actually started focusing on what my specific skin concerns were and the active ingredients that paired well for that. So for me, I focused on products that would really help prevent acne breakouts, even out previous hyperpigmentation, and also help improve overall texture from any acne scars. I started with a simple, gentle cleanser. Depending on how my skin was behaving, and also depending on the time of the year, I would use a gentle hydrating cleanser, or sometimes I would use a cleanser that had an active ingredient such as salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide or a BHA or AHA to help prevent acne breakouts. Then I use a high quality vitamin C serum in the morning, and I use a prescription strength retinoid in the evening. I started with over-the-counter retinols, which were actually very effective for me, especially in the early stages. And then of course, I was very consistent with my sunscreen application every day before I would go out for the day. And within just a few weeks of consistently doing my regimen that was now targeted specifically for my skin concerns, I started to see improvement within just a few weeks. My acne breakouts were controlled, my sunspots were improving, and my post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation was beginning to fade. After just 3 months, my skin was more vibrant and clearer than it had ever been over the many previous years of trial and error. But it wasn't just about the price tag. It was about the science, the focus, the targeted, personalized routine. It was also about the consistency. By the way, if you want to learn my step-by-step approach for achieving clear, radiant skin without the overwhelm, without the confusion, click the link in my description below. So I recently worked with a patient who had been struggling with melasma for years. When I tell you she had spent thousands and thousands on products over many years with no progress. So we first started by looking at what her current regimen was. We started identifying certain triggers in her regimen. We also identified triggers in her lifestyle. And then from there, we were able to create a simple and consistent routine that was specific to her journey and her life and her skin. We used a mix of prescription strength topicals and also over-the-counter topicals. Some of the over-the-counter ingredients included things like tranexamic acid and vitamin C serums. We also used mineral-based sunscreen consistently. And also importantly, we made sure to remind her to reapply that sunscreen after every 2 hours of sun exposure. After just a few weeks, her melasma was visibly improved. She was amazed a simple, consistent, personalized routine could do so much for her skin. And then we multiplied those efforts by now pairing that with a very effective but gentle in-office treatment. The women who get these results are not just the ones who are just randomly splurging on expensive products. They're the ones who understand their skin and follow a clear, focused, personalized routine consistently. I went through this exact struggle, this exact journey myself with my own hyperpigmentation, and this is one of the many reasons that led me to become a dermatologist. Now, if you want to learn my system for achieving clear, glowing skin in 4 to 6 weeks without the internet overwhelm or confusion, click the link in my description below. And I'll see you in the next video.